And so then if they decide that property is the option, then what do you do from there? Because I'd imagine there's a lot of people listening, or they are kind of at that, okay, we've got equity in our property, or even like we've built up some cash reserves, but we're scared. And I see it all the time of people messaging where it's like they don't know what that next step is. So obviously the plan is the point one, and then that gets people thinking, and then they find their solutions. So then you deal with the property people. What happens next for those people?
So once we've got a plan and they're like, yep, this is great, we like this plan, we understand it, let's do that, then my job is to help implement it. So to really just hold their hand, guide them all the way through and support them to implement all the recommendations that I've made. So around property, I'll then work with them to figure out what's going to be the right type of property for them. Because, you know, for most people, their first experience in buying property was when they bought their home. And so when you buy your home based on you like the look of it, it's in an area close to your work and your friends and family, or where your kids go to school. The layout of the house works for you and your family. You like the colour of the carpet, you know, all these sorts of things. Now, when you go to buy an investment property, you're thinking about what new infrastructure and development's going into an area that's going to create capital growth, what's, you know, the likely rental yields, what are the demographics of the people that are living in here, all these other things around looking at it just purely as an investment. It doesn't matter about the property. It's just, is it solid and do the numbers work for you? So we figure all that out, work out what's going to be best for that client. Because just because the bank's approved them for $1 million doesn't mean we should be spending $1 million on property.
Yeah.
And I see that all the time. That's, you know, we've got, banks say we can do 850. It's like, okay, well, let's see what we actually should be doing here. So how much should we spend? What's the cash flow going to look like? And are we focused on capital growth or yield? Because there is a trade-off between the two. So most people sit kind of somewhere in the middle. They're wanting capital growth, but they need enough income just to support it along the way. So just kind of figuring out where they sit, you know, in on that spectrum, and identifying what the ideal investment property looks like for them. Once we have identified that, then I will go out and I'll find that property.
So that's your job. You've got to go find it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I get to sit back and be like, yeah, I'm not doing that shit. I wouldn't know.
I'm not doing open homes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll go and find that property. I'll take it back to them. I'll say, look, here it is. This is why. They go, great. And then I just kind of manage everything all the way through. So I'm liaising with their mortgage advisor, their lawyer, their accountant, bringing property managers in if we need to get any building inspection reports, just kind of taking care of everything so that for them it's a really nice, easy, seamless, hands-off experience.
Wow, that sounds right up the alley of someone like myself who wouldn't. I couldn't see myself going and collecting all of that. Like, yeah, I could probably learn it and go and do it, but yeah, I don't know. I've got to that stage of my life where I've sort of learned actually just get people who are smart and good at things to do it for you, so that you're not. Because I think the Kiwi teaching has always been, you know, do it yourself, figure it out for yourself. You should know, and you're not a man if you can't do this. And
well, it is around property. But, I mean, if there's something going on with you, right, in your body and you're not feeling well or something, you go to the doctor. You ask the expert to tell you what's wrong and how you're going to fix it.
Yeah.
But for some reason in New Zealand, when it comes to property, we're all experts, you know, because we've all, I don't know, everyone's got a say, everyone's interested and
it's a good point, eh? Yeah. Everybody does have some form of opinion on, I guess, because it's you know, gravitated up for so many decades, then people have that sense of, well, basically the teaching is all you need to do is buy it and hold it and you can't lose. So therefore you can't really go wrong, but that's not true. And I'm sure you've got countless stories of people getting it wrong.
I mean, if you're going to hold property for the long term, you can buy a property anywhere and it's probably going to go up in value. Even if it just keeps up with the rate of inflation, right? Again, it's going to go up in value over the long term. But, you know, you like with any investment, you want to be a bit smarter about that. You know, what are the things that you need to be thinking about to make smarter decisions so that you can make more money out of your property? You know, same with your KiwiSaver. Not all KiwiSavers are created equal. there's a massive difference between them. And so, just making the right decisions up front can have a huge impact on your KiwiSaver later in life, or
Yeah.
any investment for that matter.